Good evening. Welcome to the January 8th, 2019 Commission on Disabilities meeting. Please stand for the salute of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I'll take a roll call of the members. Vice Chair Rick Frenny.
Present.
Enza Goodwin.
Present.
Michelle DeBellis.
Present.
Robert Bent.
Present.
Pauline Perna.
Present.
Albert Sheridan.
Present.
And Chair Ralph DeChico present. We have a full committee, finally. Way to start 2019. Welcome. The item one is I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 11, 2018 meeting. I believe I had forwarded those all over to everyone so that we can save on paper. So if somebody could make a motion and second it, I would appreciate it.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Albert Sheridan and seconded by Michelle. Enza, thank you. Okay. Item two on the agenda is just my monthly CODA, which stands for the Commission on Disabilities Alliance monthly conference call meeting, which was held last Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. This call basically was a continuation from our call that we had last month's discussion regarding the AAB bill that CODA will again try to help get passed through both houses of the state legislature. And during this call, it was also mentioned to us on the call that if any individual city or town would like someone from the Disability Policy Consortium, in abbreviation, that stands DCP, in which a few of the main members of CODA work for, they would be willing to attend any one of our individual monthly meetings. They would give an overview of the bill. So they wanted us to come back to each individual commission and ask if the will of the committees would like that to be done. They would, try and come to one of our monthly meetings and give us an overview of the AAB bill, so it doesn't have to come from me in case I'm missing anything and whatever I forwarded to you in emails. The other thing they wanted to see to do, if there was any other neighboring cities or towns that wanted to come at the same time, if a city or town wanted to host that at their meeting, we could open it up to, say, Winthrop, Malden, Everett, or Saugus, or any other ones that have an active Commission on Disabilities. They could attend that meeting too. So I just wanted to put that out to the will of this committee to see if that's something that you would be interested in, and I can go back to them and say that you would like to see if we could have one of them come and discuss the AE bill, so you could see the differences in what they're trying to get accomplished and passed through both houses of the legislature. Anyone have any questions or comments on that?
I would love to have somebody come and do an overview and see what we can do to be more proactive and to see what we can do to maybe form also an alliance with our neighboring communities. I think that the more people that are involved, you're going to get a different variety, different cross-section of information, ideas, and that's always a positive thing.
One thing that we did mention on the calls is why I would like to see one of them come and speak on it too, is they have suggestions on what they would like different committees reaching out to their state representatives and senators. Our representative is Rosalie Vincent. She had wrote a letter last year in favor to help support passing this, and Senator Joe Boncore. They would explain to us on how to reach out to them to see if we can have a sit-down meeting with them. And also, we would arrange having the meeting, but we wouldn't be going into the meeting alone with the state representatives and senators. Someone from DCP would also be joining us to have that sit-down meeting to discuss why we would like them to help get these bills passed through the state legislatures. So if it's the will of everyone, I will reach out to them and see if we can make arrangements to see if we could have them come possibly either at February or the March meeting. Anyone else have any questions or comments on that? Okay, so I'll take care of that. Item number 3 is going to be an all-inclusive art program review. I'll just briefly mention a few things, and I'll turn it over to Rick and Robert if they want to add. The Revere Commission on Disabilities had the last all-inclusive art class, which was on Thursday, December 21st, and there was a special visit that night from Santa Claus and also Mayor Arrigo. The students that were there had made a special 3D art project, which was a 3D snowman that they were working on. And I know that Rick was going to be getting the students' names that had done those to Miss Sally and Miss Diane, and those projects were going to be getting displayed up here in the lobby at City Hall on the first floor. I would just like to say that that program was a huge success, and hopefully we can find some more funding somewhere through private companies, donors, or whatnot, to try and get some more programs like that going. So at this point, I can turn it over to Rick and Robert to comment on that and elaborate more on it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, it was a wonderful 7-week event. We ended up going an extra week, as everyone knows here. And Sally and Miss Diane were wonderful, volunteering their time and helping these kids create stuff they didn't have an opportunity to do in our class in school. And they got to take the projects home with them. And as far as the names go, they were provided to Miss Diane. Now, being that we had the busy holiday season, I think this is something that's going to happen in January as far as placing them all in the hallway downstairs. But she does have the list of names, and I am looking forward to doing another type of art project in spring of 2019 or whenever we have the money again. I also like to thank Mayor Arrigo, his lovely wife and their 2 boys for coming down on the 21st to help out, take some pictures with Santa and have some fun with cookies and juice. It was a lot of good time. Also want to thank school committeeman Jerry Visconti for coming down one of the weeks, dropping in to say hello and seeing what we're all about. So it went well. Consider we were pretty much started from nothing, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for getting the grant, and for Bobby helping me put this together. People like Enzo and Michelle come with their kids, and week after week, and all the other parents throughout the city. The range was from 4 to 22. So we had a pretty good range there. And all the kids just loved it. It was great. So thank you to the parents, the guardians. And thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Barbie. And thank everyone involved. And thank the Rec Center for letting us use their spot every Thursday night. I think it was a wonderful event. I think it can only get bigger and better. That's all I have to say about it. Mr. Bent, would you like to add a few words?
Absolutely. First of all, would like to thank you for taking over the helm the last couple of weeks, as I wasn't there due to some medical stuff I had going on. But like you said, it was a great event. The kids had a blast. The family seemed like they had a blast. You know, from what I saw in the pictures on the 21st, it looked like Mayor Arrigo and his family had a blast, and everybody involved had a blast. So, I mean, something I think we should try to do again. And maybe, like you said, make it bigger and better.
Anybody else have any comments or questions, concerns?
It was nice to attend it with my son and to be able to just go to an event and not feel the need to run it. That was great for us. And I honestly don't think there was anything that could have been done differently. It was great. Miss Sally, Miss Diane, Rick, Robert, even Ralph, the weeks you were there, it was nice. It was a great experience.
Thank you, Enzo.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone else have anything to add to it, or any questions or comments, or? Okay. Okay. Item 4 is another new program that we've started. Basically, this program was for students in the high school life skills class. The Revere Commission on Disabilities was able to pilot this program because of the generosity and partnership and donations from Danny Liberto from Liberto's Bakery. So I'm going to, again, turn it over to Vice Chair Rick Frenny to talk on this one also.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Yes, I'm very involved this last couple of months here. The cupcakes, so basically what we did, if those of you that are unaware, and the thousands at home watching us live on Revere TV, we were able to get 48 cupcakes from Liberto's Bakery, and we had our life skills teacher, which is Miss Talia Memo, Revere High School. She would take 4 of her students and bring them down to the rec center on Friday. From there, upon meeting them there, we would stop at Liberto's, get the cupcakes. They would give us 2 big things of frosting, vanilla and chocolate, the cups, the stickers, everything to sell them with. And the kids would just have a blast frosting the cupcakes. And we're selling them at Friday night home games for the boys and girls home games. It's 6 Friday basketball. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for interrupting me. So it's the 6 home games. It's $2 a cupcake. We should have made 96. We made about 150 the first night because everyone was just tipping and so generous. They had another wonderful turnout this past Friday night. Our next one is this Friday night coming up, which is the 11th. We'll be selling cupcakes again. And the money just stays in the life skills class to help them go on their little field trips, neighborhood walks, buying stuff, maybe buying tickets or going on a field trip of some sort. But the purpose of it is to get the kids out of the school, get them some sort of vocation, even if it's cupcakes, it's some pastry work, they love it. And then 4 different kids show up at night and do the selling. So we have the bakers during the day, and we have the customer service, we have the reps, the salespeople at nighttime selling them. Obviously, this is all overseen by the teachers, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And the people of Revere have been very generous, buying all the cupcakes every Friday night. We've done this so far, 2 Fridays. And look forward to doing it this Friday again. So thank Mr. Liberto, thank Talia Memo. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, once again for being the driving force behind this and getting that stuff done. And this is something that the high school needs, and it's just a tip of the iceberg. We have a long way to go with this. So thank you, everyone involved, and we appreciate your support, and keep it up.
Just one thing that I want to add to that too. A lot of these events that we are running, we have created a Commission on Disabilities Facebook page that we put a lot of the pictures of these events, and just to take a look at the smiles on the students, the children and the young adults' faces as they're doing this, it's priceless. Seeing them as they're interacting with other people and in the process of doing it, it's gratifying to me, and I think to all of us, just to see that. Hopefully you can get a chance and take a look at it. It's City of Revere Commission on Disabilities Facebook page. Please reach out and take a look at it, and you'll see what we see by just looking at the faces of these children and young adults' faces. It's something that's been needed in this community, and like Mr. Fernie has said, with the generosity of both Mrs. Sally, Mrs. Diane to help with the art program, and now Daniel Liberto of Liberto's Bakery for donating the pastry and the supplies, we're able to provide this. So thank you, and we owe a great deal of gratitude to the people in the city for reaching out and helping us. Anybody have any questions or comments or anything like that?
That was well said, Mr. Chairman.
Next is, actually, I had a typo on it. It would be item 5 is the scheduled events, and I can turn this over to either Enza or Michelle, whoever wants to take that one.
So to recap our December events, we hosted our holiday party back on Sunday, December 16th at Rumney Marsh Academy. We are excited to say that we had over 30 children attend the event with their families. This was, I think, by far one of our biggest events yet. And we want to thank School Committee Woman Stacy Rizzo for stopping by, and she brought treats for the kids. And also thank you to Mike Hinojosa for setting up the inflatables and providing us the space at the school. And of course, we have to always thank Stacy Lavoti from Revere for sponsoring the event. We were fortunate enough that she paid for everything that we needed for it to make it a success. So thank you to all those folks and to the families that came out. We have a couple events set up in January. On Thursday, January 17th, Miss Sally and Miss Diane, along with Revere CPAC, will host a one-night cooking class for children and their families. At this time, we have 17 children signed up, so we do have a wait list taking place. If anyone else is interested, they could get in touch with myself or Jen Duggan, and we could add their names to a wait list. And then on Monday, January 28th, Miss Jackie Roy is presenting to parents for our monthly meeting on ABA strategies and tips. This was an event that was supposed to take place back in December, but unfortunately, a handful of us were not feeling well, and we had to postpone it till January.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have anything else that they would like to add, or any questions or comments on these events?
Just one question, please, on the Thursday, January 17th. What time is that event?
So that is scheduled to take place from 6 to 7. So if everyone remembers, we're trying to run a once-a-month parent-type meeting, and we're also trying to run a once-a-month child and parent event. And so we were lucky enough that Miss Sally and Miss Diane were available to offer something for our families in the month of January.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, item 6 is old business, and the first thing was to see if we have any grant follow-up information on the 2 possibilities from Vice Chair Rick Frenny.
I'd like to table that for next month, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and the next is the continued discussion and the ideas on the COD subcommittee meeting and duties that we had placed to do for next steps at our last meeting. So I had sent that in the email to everyone and said if anyone had any ideas, we would discuss it for discussions tonight. I know Michelle has some things that she wants to talk about on this, right? I'm joking. So we're going to do, there's 3 groups. Okay, so we'll have what do we want to base these as?
Are we gonna, this is what we spoke about 2 months ago or last month. So Michelle and Enza, although we're here for the community, Michelle and Enza will have a focus on the children up to, say, middle school, where Pauline and I were going to tackle the high school and life skills kids. Albert, Bob, and yourself, we're going to take care, focus on the rest of the community with the focus on, obviously, senior citizens and those that require responses from the Commission on Disabilities. Is that all right?
Yeah, well, what I basically want to do is I want to try, and I know what the committees will do, but I want to try and give each committee a name, so that you know what I'm saying, instead we know what they'll do, but so we have a different thing. So if we have people that have questions or concerns, we'll know which committee to steer them to. So basically, that's what I wanted to do for the 3 committees. So we'll have 3 committees. So how do we, you know how, just as an example, there's a public safety committee, there is a DPW committee, but we're not going to have that. We're going to group it by age brackets. But how do we want to affiliate it? Because it's going to be programs for this type of an age bracket. So what do we want to call that that committee's name, and then the next bracket. So that's what I need suggestions on, what do we want to do that? And basically what I am going to do is, I'm not going to be affiliated with any specific group. I'm going to
Be a floater?
be a floater, okay? Because I have everything that I have to do on the back end with the legal stuff, with the handicap parking, with all the other things that I'm doing. So I don't want to have myself fully engaged in a committee and then not being able to be all in on it.
But the only reason why I threw your name with Bob and Albert is because you mentioned that you were gonna, last time. So, yeah, that's totally understandable. You'll have enough time in the day to do what you have to do. So, I don't know if you guys have names, but I just think we should be something we can brainstorm and contact each other through email, and then maybe by February's meeting, we'll have some names we can toss around, and then we can bring them to the table in next month. Does that sound all right? So Polly and I will email each other and talk, and Bob and Albert and the young ladies to my left can discuss. All right.
The second reason why is the city's going to be working on having a new website. We're all going to have our names on this website. So if we have committees too, that I can also say that these people are in charge of this committee. This is what this committee will do. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can email these specific members of this committee with any questions or concerns. And we'll basically use you as liaisons. People will come to you. Then if there's any problems or questions arise from them, then you come to me for more information that I can do a follow-up on, instead of everything just falling into one way and then things will get lost in the shuffle, which sometimes happens with me. So this way, if I have somebody getting contacted, they're contacting somebody else, then they'll know to stay on me to get this information. So I think that's the best way. And the reason why we'll do it in the 3 brackets is, it's not gonna, it's gonna be, we'll have it as, I don't want to call it elementary, and I know that the teens will call young adults, and then we'll have, the other one will be adults. So we just have to figure out, what the younger ones we want to do for the groups, but the other one will be adults. So anybody outside of the school age would be considered adults, and I figured Robert and Albert, because you basically know the concerns, especially you, Robert, you know the concerns that you're in need of both ways. But then, even though that you're in charge of that committee, you'll also be working with the other committees for input. But I just want to have 2 people spearheading on each main committee, but then everybody can be on each committee, if that makes sense. Okay. Next is any late items. If anybody has anything that wasn't on the agenda, I just mentioned about the website, so that was one thing that wasn't on the agenda. So the city's working on that, and I had given them some draft of some information that I'm going to be wanting to put on that. So hopefully in the springtime, the city hopefully will have a new website. Like I mentioned, we do have our Facebook page that we've been putting a lot of our events that we're hosting on there, and we've been piggybacking anytime that CPAC has anything. I've been sharing it right on there also. Been doing all of that. So I'm not sure if anyone else has anything else that they want to mention, if anybody is working on anything or out there.
I'm not working on it, just as kind of a follow-up. I'm not sure if this would be a late item or not. The gentleman that was here a couple months ago regarding the flooding, did you ever hear any update on that from the city council or any of the Department of Engineering? I was just curious about that, because I got an email from the newspaper, wanted to follow up with us on that.
Yeah, from what I've been told is they are, the city, Mayor Rigo had gone down there and met with him. They are working on that with the DPW. They're working on a solution. So it did not fall on deaf ears. So they're working on solutions. The state legislature was involved because it's more than just a city of Revere issue. There's a lot of things, because a lot of it is stemming from the county ditch. So the state legislature had to become involved, and all the parties are now at the table. And I believe that they're all trying to work on a resolution for Mr. Falzone.
Okay, great, thank you.
Since there's no one here for the open forum, the next steps, we all know what we're going to do is try and come up with a name for your committee. So we all have the emails. The only other thing is I just wanted just a little bit of housekeeping. I just wanted to make sure that everyone received the email from Ashley Melnick, the city clerk, just to follow up on that email that she has sent, just to read the yearly material that has to be read, and just to send her an email back that you have received and acknowledged it. Yes, the conflict of interest form. You just have to read it and send her an email that you acknowledged and received it. The email, I believe, was sent last Friday, last Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so that's all it is. So if you could please, that has to be turned in, I believe, by next week. I think the date was on that. So that's all we have for there. Next is just the monthly reminder that the Commission of Disabilities has office hours on Fridays from 8:15 to 12:15 on the Veteran Services Office in the rear of the Legion Building at 249 R Broadway, which is next door to the City Hall. You can call for an appointment, or if you'd like to, but do not need one. You will be able to talk to someone from our 311 Constituent Office Center on other days when you call our office at 781-286-8267. They'll be able to answer most of your questions, but if they are unable to, or if you would like a call back from our office, they can transfer you to the Disabilities Office voicemail, and someone will get back to you as soon as they can. Also, please let us know if you would like something discussed or brought up or added to our monthly agenda. You can also let us know if you'd like to come up and speak on any issues or concerns. The Commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere. Also, please remember that we are still looking to see if you can fill out the Disability Accessibility Survey. That is not only help you, it's to help us so that we know what services are needed within the city of Revere. If I can have a motion to adjourn until our next meeting of Tuesday, February 6th, 2019 at 6 p.m.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Thank you, and good night.